Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order this Records and Public Safety Committee meeting. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. I need a motion to adopt.
Support Van Sickle.
It's been moved by Commissioner Haw, supported by Commissioner Van Sickle. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes dated November 17th, 2022. Any additions or corrections? Seeing and hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve Van Sickle.
I need a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Perna. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 5 is public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation. It's for those who wish to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any item which is on today's agenda. The second opportunity for the public participation is for those who wish to speak on any issue. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for 3 minutes on anything that's on today's agenda? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close public participation. I will go item 6, which is department recommendations. Item A is the contract. It's between the Macomb County Bar Association, continuing legal action, training agreement, $185,000. We have Mr. Tomko, who's the public defender.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thomas Tomko.
I'm sorry,
on behalf of the
Mr. Hall, you
public
made the
defender.
motion, move it to full board. I need a support. Support by, what's your name again? Sorry. Supported by Commissioner Wallace. I'm sorry, Mr. Tomko. Go ahead.
Thomas Tomko, Public Defender Office. What we're asking the commissioners to approve is a contract between the Macomb County and the Macomb County Bar Association. This provides continuing legal education for attorneys who participate in representing indigent defendants. Each year they're required to take 12 continuing legal education hours. This contract is to provide those 12 CLE hours. It is fully grant funded. We already have approval for the grant funding. It's already in our budget. We're just looking for approval to sign the contract.
Thank you. I see no speakers. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you.
Next item is item B. 6B, which is a budget amendment. It's the Civil Service Commission, psychological evaluation and promotional exams. Cost is for $29,300, and we're having, looks like it's.
I'll make a motion to recommend full board.
Thank you.
Support Kleinfeld.
I had a motion by Commissioner Farrington, supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld, to move this to full board. And it says here that Anthony Forlini is going to be here, but you don't look like Anthony Forlini.
No, sir, I'm not. My name's Dave Daniels. I'm the Assistant Chair Board of the Civil Service. I'm sitting in for Mr. Forlini. Good afternoon, Board. As you know, the Civil Service primary responsibility role is to assist the Sheriff's Office in maintaining a valid list of candidates to hire. The process includes examinations that determine the fitness for appointment to the position that each candidate is applying for. One of those examinations includes a psychological evaluation. Due to the increase in cost of exams, we need a budget amendment in the amount of $23,867. It's actually a little lower than the amount that was on your agenda. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Commissioner Brown?
Thank you. How was the queue? How was the funnel of candidates in the Civil Service Commission? How are you processing them? Are they getting through the system in a timely fashion?
They are, sir. Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, we hired 76 candidates this year, 76 new employees as opposed to last year, which was 46. So it's almost doubling in the number of people that we've hired, which is that calls for the reason why we need the budget amendments, because of the process of the examination. But we have a robust list of candidates for dispatch, corrections, and for deputy sheriff.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's encouraging.
It is.
That's a positive trend, because we have positions that need to be filled.
We do.
So, all right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. I see no, excuse me. Commissioner Kleinfeld?
Did we get the correction in the motion for the dollar amount? Could you repeat it?
Sure, absolutely.
Because
I'd like to-
our motion's the other number.
My mistake. I would like to amend the budget amount to $23,867.
23.8.
I need approval from the maker of the motion
Yes.
and a approval from the supporter.
That's me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need an amendment. We'll just change the motion. That's fine with me.
All set?
Yep.
See no other speakers, please vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Item 6C is a budget amendment, Community Corrections and Macomb County Sheriff's Office, 2022 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. Funds total $23,138. Community Corrections, $10,819. Macomb County Sheriff's Office, $12,319. Barb Caskey, Director of Community Corrections, and Steve Bryant, Captain. I need a motion to move this full board. Move this from Harold.
Support Van Sickle.
Got a motion from Commissioner Haw and a support from Commissioner Van Sickle. Please.
Good afternoon, Barb Caskey with Community Corrections. We're here to request a total increase of $23,138. That would be $10,819 for Community Corrections, and those costs would be attributed to drug testing and electronic monitoring or tether monitoring and enrollment for individuals. And then the Sheriff's Department would be an increase of $12,319, and that is spelled out the supplies and the technological items they are going to purchase with the JAG grant for 2022. If you have any questions, we can answer those.
Commissioners, I see no speakers. Please vote. Maybe they don't want to vote.
Your turn.
Aye.
Aye.
There any nays? Oh, there it is. Let's vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Appreciate you hearing me
One
today.
second, Sheriff, if I may.
All right.
I'm sorry, Cap. This is item D, which is the budget amendment for the Sheriff's Office, which is, I think you're speaking on. It's a fiscal 416 grant fund increase, $50,761.
Farrington will make the motion, recommend full board.
Motion by Commissioner Farrington, supported by Commissioner Zinner. Cap, go ahead.
That's correct. Thank you for seeing me today. I appreciate it. This is for you to approve the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget amendment to increase the Sheriff's Office fiscal grant fund in the amount of $50,961 due to an increase from the state of Michigan Police Secondary Road Patrol funding to be used for increasing traffic patrol in Macomb County. This will increase the Sheriff's 416 fiscal grant program by $50,761 to match the awarded amount of $723,961.
Good, Cap. The first statement you made was 50,961, so it is 50,761. This is correct.
50,961.
I have 50,761. We need another couple $100.
Okay.
We got two figures you gave us.
All right. Well, I know that there's 673,200 is what we budgeted for the fiscal year 2023. So the difference between 723,961 minus the 673,200, which I believe is 50,961.
Point of clarification, Chair.
You also have the right-
On our document, actually,
Okay, so it
both
should be
numbers
961.
exist, so
Okay.
maybe staff could clarify
This is
that.
just a typo. Okay, it's 961.
I could figure it out on a calculator real quick.
We have the motion was 961. Maker was all right with that? Who made the motion? And support was in her? We're right with that. Okay, let's see if we got,
All right.
we have any? Oh, Chair Brown, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chair Brown.
Thank you. This additional 50,000, is this going to make any difference in the program that you already have budgeted? I mean, it's not going to fund another car out there somewhere, is it?
That's
Or
what we're
another-
going to ask for next, as soon as you approve it.
Really?
Correct.
Another 50,000 will get us another person on the road?
Yep.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Thank you, Chair. I see no other speakers. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Item E is a purchase, Todd Wenzel Chevrolet 2023 Chevy Police Tahoe four-wheel drive SUV, $40,940. Again, Captain Steve Byrne. I need a motion to move this full board.
So moved, Paul.
I heard Commissioner Wallace made the motion and Commissioner Hawes supported it. Captain Byrne, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with this additional monies, I'd ask you, that we purchase a 2023 Chevy Police Tahoe four-wheel drive SUV from Todd Wenzel Chevrolet in the amount of $40,940. This including extended warranty. This vehicle will be used on our secondary road patrol grant program.
I have Commissioner Zinner who has a question.
So do you have this vehicle, do they have this vehicle waiting for you?
No, not yet. It's got to be ordered.
When do they think they can get it in? Do
Oh,
you
it's
know?
going to be a while.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep.
Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. That was my first question. And when did you think you were going to get the vehicle? And second question, $40,940 is quite inexpensive for that type of vehicle in today's market. Is that a quoted price through the municipal circuit?
It's through Todd Wenzel. It's a bid price that they gave us. Yeah.
Well, you got a deal.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I see no other speakers. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Cap.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. Item F is a contract with Wellpath. It's the Inmate Healthcare Services. It's a 3-year total for $24,547. I'm sorry, $24,547,419. Lower Mish, Captain, you're going to make. Need a motion to move this to full board.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Hall. I need a support.
Support Kleinfeld.
Supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. Happy holidays to all of you. No? Am I done?
No objection from the no objections from the chair. Go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, Board, Chair, members of the Board. I am here today to present a contract to you today with Wellpath. It is a 3-year contract beginning January 1 of 2023 through December 31st of 2025. You see the amounts before you for each year. I stood before you here last year, the same month, the same time, and I had a 1-year contract in front of you. I listened to what the board had to say, and in agreement, I started looking at what our medical and mental health contract was. I spent time looking at other RFPs from other counties, and I was in contact with purchasing in July in writing an RFP to send this out to bid. It went out to bid on November the 1st. And then as we went through the process, here we are now in December. I have a bid from Wellpath for that, and we would like to move forward with them as the provider for the medical and mental health services.
Okay, Kat, before I go to the speakers, you mentioned that you brought this in November. Was there any changes? I mean, why did you wait so late to bring it to us? Were there any changes in the regional one? You sent it out for bids. There were some changes, major changes?
We were working on contract language.
On the contract language?
Yes, it was contract language.
Okay, we have some commissioners here who have some questions. Commissioner Farrington?
Thank you, Chair. Welcome. I guess I have a question. You had two bidders, it looks like, on our documents. You had Wellpath and ACH, correct?
Correct.
And I understand Wellpath came in 800,000 or so below. Did you factor in the poor history of Wellpath? I mean, not only has there been multiple instances here in Macomb County, but just this year their CEO pled guilty of federal bribery charges. That doesn't seem like a kind of vendor I want to work with, not counting all the issues that we've had within the county with Wellpath. So if you can kind of describe the thought process, was this strictly because they're lower, or did that come into account as far as the quality of what they've been providing the county?
No, thank you. Good question. All of those factors came into account, as a matter of fact. We consider everything. One of the things is if we were to change and go to another medical provider, there's a 90-day transition time. There'd be at least 90 days in order to transition to that other service. Our population of people that come into our jail are people with health needs. So I don't think we can necessarily point fingers at what has been done or not done. We have people that come in front of us that have serious medical needs, serious mental health needs. During the pandemic itself, Wellpath was excellent in providing pandemic planning, COVID planning, everything that they were able to do for us during that. It was absolutely excellent. This past year, we have expanded our MAT program and our MOUD, treatment of substance abuse services. We have a health service administrator and a director of nursing that has been very responsive with our needs, and they continue to assist us in providing medical and mental health needs for a very difficult population to provide for.
I understand it's a difficult population, but we've spent millions in legal suits, which more than makes up for the cost difference. Question you said about the 90 days. Did that play a part into it? Because if so, then we should have put this out to bid 6 months earlier.
Well, the 90 days is a true thing that happens in transitioning.
Right, I'm saying that wasn't a consideration on staying with them because of the 90 days, though, was it?
No, but I'm saying that there is a transition period.
Yeah.
No, I truly have been working on this entire year, and I've done everything in my power to get this done as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Song.
Thank you, Chair. Just echoing a little bit about what Commissioner Farrington said. I voted no to the Wellpath contracts in the past, and I don't plan on voting to support this contract. The two bids that we did get, it seems like our options are very limited, and so maybe you could speak a little bit about that. Regarding the bid, you said you put it out November 1st. That was just a month ago. Why wasn't this put out sooner to give other organizations an opportunity to bid on this? Because the two options that you brought before us are not the greatest. Both of them have lawsuits. And I believe that for the amount of money that we are spending on these contracts, we could potentially bring this service in-house and be able to control it a little bit more.
So we did utilize county purchasing, and it went out through the county process of going through purchasing. I believe there were in excess of 15 different companies that looked at the request for proposal. However, I cannot control who actually bids on it. I cannot control how many bids we get. I can't control who does give us the bids. I can just look at that.
But this was just put out November 1st, right? So we're only about a month and a half out.
Correct.
Is there a reason why it was put out so late?
Again, I have spent a lot of time. There's going to be an increase in a lot of services. The words of the RFP when it went out before was in 2011. I took into consideration what we were doing here in Macomb County. I have worked with Corporation Counsel, looking at what other counties are doing, current lawsuits, things that are out there, and we came up with a more robust RFP indicating what we wanted to include mental health stabilization and additional programming for all inmates, preventative wellness at 90-day intervals, mandatory weekly in-person groups in the mental health unit, increase of self-harm detection, interdiction prevention, evaluation for all inmates, substance abuse treatment increase, proactive monitoring during the detox protocol. And I could go on, but what we wanted to do was make sure that we were asking for what we needed inside the building. It was a big ask. It was a larger ask than in the past. If you refer to past RFPs, you will see what the language is and how it changed. And we put it out for what we wanted, and unfortunately, we got the 2 bidders. And if I would have had 15 bids, I would have been able to present 15 to you, but that's not what we received.
Could you remind us what the current contract is for, the 1 year, the amount?
The 1 year that was an extension from the previous contract.
What was the dollar figure for the 1 year?
I don't have
Was it in the same range, 7 to 8 million a year?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. If you could.
We have it in, it's
Okay.
in here.
Does staff have that on hand to answer my question?
Can you repeat it so that I make sure I answer it properly?
What was the 1 year that is expiring this year? What was that amount for the 1 year?
It is in the background. It might take me a
It's
second.
the
to
5th
find it.
attachment.
Okay.
All set, Commissioner?
I have one more question. Is there a reason why we're not bringing this in-house, this service? Why are we contracting this out? Because the
We don't have the personnel for one.
I put it out through the county purchasing. I guess if the county of Macomb
for the
wanted
amount
to,
of money that the county is spending to contract an outside organization that has been sued various times to offer medical services to our inmates, why can't we not hire our own medical director, our own nurses to take care of our inmates? Because the contract with Wellpath, their medical director position, that amount is $240,000 to $300,000. That contract alone for the medical director position, that's the highest amount of money that we pay for a contractor in our county. So I'm just wondering why we are, and maybe it's because we've always done this, that we've always had a contract with them, but to me, it just doesn't make sense that we are spending an astronomical amount of money for an outside contractor when we could just offer this service.
Commissioner, if I may, I'm going to ask our attorney come up, our in-house attorney.
Thank you,
Mr.
Chair.
Shaka, maybe he can explain a little
I
bit more
appreciate it.
where we're at. Counselor, I think the question was, why don't we have an in-house?
The very short answer, Commissioner, is because it would cost us probably 3 times as much. Wayne County historically had in-house medical staff, a staff of doctors, physician's assistants, and nurses. They went to Wellpath 3 years ago. They saved 2/3 off the top. The danger of doing it in-house is we would then have all of the liability on the county. Every lawsuit that you've mentioned would be totally and exclusively the county's responsibility. As it is, Wellpath represents their interests. This is all the medical malpractice, the medical aspects. We represent the custodial aspects of any case. We would need a pharmacy license, which we don't have. We'd have to have pharmacists, a staff of nurses, We would have all of the problems that you engender when you have increase of your employee population, everything from workers' comp claims to discrimination claims to turnover problems. The cost savings is substantial, and that's why we went to contract. We didn't always have contracts. We went to it sometime before my time for the cost savings.
Okay, thank you.
From my aspect, my little corner of the world.
I appreciate your response.
Okay.
It sounds like the county's avoiding a lot of this responsibility.
Well, we
Thank you,
need our
Chair.
responsibilities.
You're welcome. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Counselor. Commissioner Perna.
Just to bring myself up to date, last year's contract was an extension of the previous contract for a year,
It was a second one-year extension from a previous contract. That's correct.
and the previous contract was for how long?
It was a 3-year contract.
So they're just finishing their 4th year?
It was the 5th year. It
Fifth.
was an original 3-year contract with 2 optional 1-year contracts, and last year was this 2 of 2.
And who was the carrier before them?
Wellpath, also known as CCS. CCS changed the name of Wellpath. We've been with them since 2011.
I'm just trying to go back to the history of who handled that responsibility before. So in your opinion, it's wellness, right?
Wellpath.
Wellpath. So they've been with us for 5 years. You're looking for another 3-year contract. Corporation Counsel tell us that we couldn't afford it because of the liability potential. You're satisfied with them?
I am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Perna asked half of my questions, so
You told me
that
to.
was good. I don't know what you're going to do with him, Captain, but he's all yours. In your dissertation, it's a 3-year contract with 2 optional years of extensions. Are those extensions mutually agreed upon by both parties to be presented? Is that the intent?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and that's virtually what you have done in the past, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
And the same to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, this is a hard vote every time it comes up because of the history. But every company that's in this business has history because of the nature of the business. This contract is almost $1 million less expensive than the other contract. I would never want to go in-house with this. Our job, in my opinion, is to safeguard the taxpayers' dollars in Macomb County and Macomb County's financial well-being, and to take all that liability in. Mr. Shepka, have we not had several lawsuits where the county did not pay anything because we didn't have any liability over the years?
Quite a few.
So it's not just the cost of savings in the contract. We're safeguarding the county and the county's dollars.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we've seen with other instances, even with employees in the jail, there are going to be things that happen in the jail. There are going to be things that happen with employees. We've seen that over the years. There are going to be things that happen with people that aren't employees. But ultimately, we're saving a whole lot of money with this contract over the other one, and we're saving even a whole lot more by not going in-house, correct?
Correct, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Chair. I was hoping we would have more options, and the other option that we have does not seem to be better. And I do know that you have done your research and you think Wellpath would be the best option to move forward with, and I do appreciate it from looking outside because you're in there, I'm not. So we have to take your expertise. I agree with Commissioner Kleinfeld. I think bringing this in-house would not be good. I think the lawsuits would be tripled, if not more. Just the idea of the lack of constant employees and mental health alone, it's just difficult to keep people in-house and keep people working. They leave quite often. So it's good that we have another company that we can depend on to fill this area. So, you know, hopefully you can look again and like start 2 years after the contract, and maybe we'll get more. But unfortunately, I don't want to vote for this, but I will be voting in favor of it. I think that following your guidance and your path is our best option right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming before us today and for your due diligence and working through everything this past year and taking what commissioners said to heart and doing your research. I voted no last year. My problem was with the company itself, the fact that it was only them. We only had the one choice. So at least this year there were two that responded to it. So we're making progress. I'm deferring to you and your good judgment on going with this company. And if you think it's okay, then I am going to be flipping my no vote from last year to a yes vote this year. For some of the reasons that Commissioner Wallace said as well, by doing it in-house, from the community mental health side, we can't find bodies for administration, let alone boots on the ground. I mean, and I'm sure that's the same way in the medical field, and it's for your field as well. So to have this contract before us with folks ready, willing to work in the jail to help our folks there is huge. So I am a yes for now. I would recommend that we do continue to work on this over the years to see if there are more better companies doing this, but it seems like a job that really it's just tough. You have job hazards everywhere with this job. So thank you again for your research, and happy holidays. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Zinner?
Thank you, Chair. We've already heard this, but people leaving and stuff, but I don't know if we did in-house, where are we going to find the staff? Nurses are leaving hospitals at different times. It's on the news. It's not unknown. So I agree. I don't think it would work. But as far as for Wellpath, when we've had the teenage facility, I forgot the name of it, we had, I think there were 1 or 2 bidders then too, and Wellpath was one of them. So we've seen this before. There just are not a lot of insurance companies that are available in this category. So I think we're stuck at this time. And you said that you're happy with the care that they're providing, and you're the one there. So I hope that they continue to get good care. And thank you for all your work. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Nard?
Right here. Very quickly, I don't want to dismiss the concerns of Commissioner Song. I believe those are very valid, and definitely we need to look at that going forward. I do agree with you that if we were to move this in-house, it just would be astronomical. It wouldn't be a very smart move on our part. I did want to ask, what is the reason for the 2-year extension? So if we give them a 3-year and then they have an automatic 2-year, so why don't they just go for a 5-year contract as opposed to 2 years with a clause in there that we can't do anything for another 2? I just don't understand that part.
They're optional at this point. It's how it was written.
Mm-hmm.
It is optional, however, and again, not precluding us from going out to bid again or trying that again in the middle of the contract. So.
Okay, so now that being said, so why, wouldn't it make sense if we know this is coming up, so why they have this 2-year optional thing going on? Couldn't we be looking for something else? I mean, we did get one bid this time. I know last time we didn't get any, but this time we did get one. It's just, I know that probably 61% of the money is actually going for the administration, which is probably expensive. And I mean, it's probably hard to find people that'll go into a jail and work and give that type of concern and care for people that are not the greatest people. But I just would like to see us at an earlier time go out and start bidding and looking for things are, wherever we can to get a better service, a better company. I mean, because this is not a really good look for Macomb County. And then at the same time, we don't want people saying, hey, Macomb County gives a lot for their, people in jail. Let's do a crime there so we can go to jail in Macomb County because, we get good medical help, because that's what I was thinking when I first saw the $24 million. I'm like, wow, we spend that much on medical care, But as I researched and looked at it, I realized where the money was actually being spent and how. It's just the reputation of the company that bothers me. I will be voting, for this contract because I believe in what you're saying. You're there, you know what's going on, but I just would like to see us get a partnership with the better if you could, whatever that looks like for someone caring for bad people. I would like to see us have a better relationship with the person that's going to be doing that. I like to see them with a better reputation than what this one has. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I would like a chance to respond. It's not about being bad people. There are a lot of pretrial detainees. We follow the Constitution, and we do hold people who have not been convicted of anything. And even if people had been, we still are responsible to provide good medical and mental health care for those people. So as you spoke about, the lawsuits, and it is caring for people that may not have cared for themselves on the outside. They don't take care of themselves. They're probably not getting their 6-month dental checkups, and they could be using any type of substance out on the road. But we still have the responsibility to care for those people who are under our custody and ensure that we do have the most, and I'm not saying the best, because you don't want people to say, also, there are some deterrents into being incarcerated. That is correct. However, we want to make sure that we are meeting their needs, constitutionally adequate, and that we are doing what we need to do to take care of those people.
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Looks like we're adding to the list instead of detracting. Commissioner Van Sickle.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. I appreciate all your hard work in getting all this contract together. Except I really don't like these large contracts like last year, the medical examiner, and this year, this contract being brought to us in December. If we voted this down, what would you do?
I would see what type of agreement we could come up with to temporarily extend the care through our contracted provider like we would do.
I don't think it's a good situation to be in to bring this kind of contract to us at the last month. I would like to see these kinds of things brought at least in November, if not in October. And like I said, I appreciate all the work you did, but I really feel we need to pull it up at least a month, if not 2. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Looks like we got a lot of second rounders here. Mr. Perna? Commissioner Perna, sorry.
Is this contract, are they a union employer? Are they unionized?
I don't have the answer for you. I can get the answer for you.
And my reason I'm asking that question is, what in the event that there was a work stoppage, what would we do if they're a union contract under a contract? What liability would the county have?
Well, I can look into that for you and I will get that answer. But I can tell you, so during COVID, and they have provided nurses for us. So in addition to the staffing that they have, they also have, as a national company, they have other Wellpath staff that they can bring to us. So they have agency staffing that they have used before and they can use.
So the contract doesn't address if they're unionized or not, if they were to have a work stoppage, if that would affect us in any way. We don't have a backup plan for that.
Again, I can check on that for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Song.
Thank you, Chair. While I respect my colleagues' opinion, my philosophy is I don't support the privatization of public services, and that includes spending public dollars. I was pretty vocal about the idea of bringing it in-house, but I think that there are other options, and this discussion that we're having is really reflective of the fact that there is a need for criminal justice reform. And so I'm hopeful that with this potential intake project, with the ARPA dollars, that will help to alleviate some of the issues that we are having. I also want to thank Kyle for getting us the dollar amount for last year. Just so you guys know, it was $6.7 million, $6.7 million. And so this is an increase per year of over $1 million to $2 million with this contract. Just so you guys know. And so we're not really saving any money. We're actually increasing their contract. That's just all I wanted to say. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Farrington on the second round.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Captain. You did a lot of research. It's well appreciated. In that research, who handles Oakland County? You'd mentioned Wayne is Wellpath. Who handles Oakland and Kent counties?
Oakland County has Wellpath right now, and I don't know who Kent County has right now.
That wasn't part of the research? I mean, they're a similar county to us.
Currently in right now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I started looking into this back in January.
All right. Probably something in the future. It's a comparable county. So.
Certainly.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Second round, Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Army one, just in case you didn't get the memo.
Was that
Two
it is
things.
your name up? I'm sorry. You did ask to speak.
I'm working on it. I'm trying
No,
to.
I'm sorry. Oh, your name is up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm trying.
I thought you said you removed your. Excuse me. Go ahead, Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Okay. Two things. I was going to ask about the increase, but then you explained that you put a lot more in the RFP, that you're requesting a lot more of them than we requested the last time. Would that be the reason for the increase?
That is correct.
Okay. And I just want to be on record. I agree with Commissioner Farrington that saying the transition, I'm going to support this, but saying that there has to be a transition wouldn't be a valid reason, because then what you're saying is we can never make any changes, right? And this goes with anything that any director or administrator would come forward and say, well, we can't go to them because there needs to be a transition. Well, if there needs to be a transition, and trust me, you're not alone, this comes up frequently with other departments, then the process has to start earlier. I just want to be on record saying that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And last but certainly not least, Commissioner Hall, second round.
Thank you, Chair. I heard two statements. One, that we're shirking our responsibility when we've had legal counsel come up here and tell us doing it any other way would be 3 times the cost, not only in what the sheriff is proposing, but possible lawsuits. The other term I heard was privatization. This is not a privatization issue, which is defined by taking something internally to externally. We didn't have this internally. You contracted with this group, I think John said, for many, many years. And although I don't like them, I don't want any misinterpretation that I'm in supporting a privatization when this is not the case here at all. We are protecting the county by hiring this organization, not putting the county in jeopardy, nor are we privatizing anything that previously was internally to external. So I just want those clarifications. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. And as Chair, I think it's my turn to speak, so please vote.
Coward. Thank you for that short dissertation.
Motion passes 11 to 1. Commissioner Song voting no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item G is an agreement with Merritt Academy Law Enforcement Services, total for $284,086. This is no cost to the county. We have Commander Abro here.
Kraft
Commander?
makes the motion to move to full board.
Thank you. That was Commissioner Kraft and Commissioner Hall supported. Thank you. Cap.
Well, good afternoon.
Commander.
Thanks for having me. And to the board staff, whoever was able to get me on such short notice, I really appreciate it. It was kind of a budget crunch trying to get Merritt this deputy that they need for January 1st or the first week. Merritt Academy, which is a charter school in the village of New Haven, is asking for a law enforcement deputy and a school resource officer within their district. It is K through 12. This is interesting. This is a charter school, and they're asking for this, and they're asking for the deputy for the entire year, not to split the cost at all. Again, no cost to the county, as you stated. And I think this is a great partnership. We're in the right direction. I think we have one more district that we're working with now that needs a school resource officer, and we're hoping to get that hopefully by sometime this year, maybe February or March.
Thank you, Commander. I have some speakers here that wish some questions. Commissioner Kleinfeld?
Thank you. Steve, are we going to be doing budget amendments on the revenue side for an expense side for things like this? For this particularly?
Mr. Schmiegel?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And that's the way I like it.
Well spoken,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Schmiegel. Mr. Commissioner Farrington, please.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate not really about this one specifically, but just the thought came up. When you say it's fully paid for by them, does that include retirement costs or just the salary?
I believe it's a non-replacement cost of the deputy, but everything is factored in of what they're paying for, correct?
Yeah. Full salary, full benefits.
Including retirement? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Not a bad deal. Commissioner Farrington? Commissioner Perna?
Question on the academy. I'm familiar with the academies. Within their budget, they're covering the cost of this?
The whole thing. So normally in a lot of our school resource officers is usually the township or the village or city will pay for half. So that deputy will work in the school district for a good amount of time, and then when they're off during holidays or the summer, we would reassign that deputy to normal patrol. However, Merritt wants to pay for this deputy for the entire year to keep it at their district the entire year and on their premises.
I'm just surprised within their budget they're allowing that kind of cost for a sheriff. Now, do you see this as a trend of other academies in rural areas that are becoming the same thing?
You know, that's interesting. I hate to highlight like Oxford, right? But after Oxford, as you can see, a tragic situation, pretty sad, that a lot of the districts are now going to law enforcement services. It's there, the training's there, the responses are quicker. You know, as you know, a police officer instead of a security guard is armed, usually within a district. Plus, it's not pulling these officers from road patrol, taking complaints of a school threat where it takes hours and hours. That officer is now within that school, dealing with the situation, and the relationship that deputy builds with the children, it's different than a security guard, right? They usually will approach the deputy. They'll speak to the deputy about family or issues within their home. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Does this include special events the school puts on as well?
Usually if it's like football games or basketball games, there is an additional contract for that. These officers are assigned on day shift, Monday through Friday. If it entails like a prom or a dance, all the districts will usually contract. That's a separate item.
Is this the first academy you're doing this for?
First academy that I know of, correct.
The word will get out.
Yeah, we'll see. We're here to serve the public.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chair Brown.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard some comments, and people are comforted to know that the Macomb County Sheriff's Department is protecting their schools. All the professionalism that goes into the training of our officers, they've got at their disposal to look after their students right on the school, embedded in the school, and it provides a lot of comfort. I've heard from people who actually go to this academy, as a matter of fact, they've been talking about this for some time, and it was a big ask for them to pay this money, but they've come up with the money to provide the protection they need to give their families a peace of mind. And there are a lot of different models out there to how to provide protection for their students, but using using our Macomb County Sheriff's Department that's been tried and true is probably the best thing they could do. And I'm glad our officers are available to do that. And might be a model at some other schools, might be wise to look at. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You know, really, what better way to spend our money than to protect our children? I think it's a great idea. I see no. You want a second round again? Go ahead.
Do you have the personnel in the future, or are you going to have to hire, and that is going to be at their cost or our cost?
Well, it's a new position, so we will continue to hire. As former Captain is here, we're in the right direction. We are hiring, so we are getting the officers in the door. We have 5 coming out of the police academy. We have 12 going to the police academy. So we're excited, but it will be a new position. It'll be a new budgeted position, and that's why we're asking for the dollar amount.
So when you say they cover the entire cost, that's salary, benefits, etc.?
Everything.
Everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Commander. Item 7 is public participation. This is where this is opportunity for the public to participate. It's for those who wish to speak for any maximum of 3 minutes on any issue. Is there anybody in the public who would like to speak on any issue for a period of 3 minutes? Seeing and hearing none, we'll go to Commissioners' comments, which is item number 8. Commissioners, can I see a hand vote if your hand raised if you want to vote or mention? Ms. Kleinfeld. I'm sorry, Commissioner Kleinfeld.
You don't offend me. I'll find a way to speak every day for the next 4 days, just because Joe doesn't want me to.
Is that it?
No.
I thought that was it. I'm sorry.
So, you know, at the last meeting, a certain commissioner up here attempted to taunt me with a Navy hat. But unfortunately for him, double overtime, and it's the first time in the history of this game that started in the 1800s that there has been any overtime. Of course, they used to play to a tie, but it's still been a long time. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have his Navy hat with him today. So that's all I have to
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioners wish to speak? Seeing none, item 9 is an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Hall, supported by Commissioner Perna. Please vote. We're done. Thanks, folks. See everybody tomorrow.